Alright, I'm going to do a quick review of the MSR Micro Rocket. I'll show a little bit how it works. We'll boil some water in my MSR titanium kettle over here. Figured we'd weigh it real quick. So it's 4.38 ounces with the case, the stove, and the piezo lighter. So let's see. So here we have just the stove. 2.6 ounces. Not too bad. This lighter weighs almost half an ounce. It's kind of a cool little, I've never used one of these detachable type piezo lighters before. It's kind of a neat little gadget, but honestly I don't see why you would carry it when you could carry a lighter that weighs less and is more versatile. So I'm planning on leaving this at home. I've even thought about leaving the case at home, but it packs up so small in the case it can fit in my pot no problem. The case adds 1 1/4 ounces. I don't know. Think about it. Let's go see how it boils water. It's another beautiful day here in southern Indiana, where the air smells like burnt rubber all the time. And I'm letting the thermometer adjust from being inside. Apparently it's about 60 in my house, but we'll see what it is out here. Alright, so I'm going to set up my stove here. I've got a 4-season mix from Jet Power. When I first got into backpacking, my first stove was an MSR Pocket Rocket, and at that point in time I thought that an MSR stove needed to be used with MSR fuel all the time, but since then I've learned it doesn't really matter. You can use whichever mix you want. So for all you users out there, it doesn't have to be MSR gas, or it doesn't have to be jet boil if you have a jet boil either. What does matter is if you're going to be out in cold weather, making sure that you get the 4-season mix. Alright, so here's the actual stove. It's kind of tough to set it up with one hand. So as you can see, each one of these arms folds and then rotates. A complaint some people had about the first Pocket Rocket stove was that the arms are too shaky. This one has really strong arms. You can see the supports here are pretty tough. These things aren't flexing or going anywhere. Alright, I'm going to turn off the camera and set up the stove real quick. Alright, so there's the stove all the way unfolded and ready to go. You just screw it on top of your canister like so. The previous stove I had was actually a Pocket Rocket, and it worked great. I had it for years. I got it on clearance while I was in college in Tuscaloosa, and I had that thing up until this past year, 2015, and it seems like I must have left it in the woods somewhere, so I was not able to find it. Alright, so we're at about maybe 35 degrees, probably getting pretty close to freezing. See, there's still plenty of snow on the ground. Well, if that doesn't want anything to do with it. Alright, got my pot, my water. I have a request for some tea, so I'm gonna boil some water to make some lemon ginger tea. And you can see here in the pot, you've got marks on the inside. You can just barely make them out. They correspond with the rivets on the outside here, but I was told, and after some investigation, I believe this is true, that those marks indicate 1 cup, 2, 3 as you go up. Only need about 1.5 cups of water probably. Well, hell, I'll go ahead and do 2 cups. We'll see how long 2 cups takes. Alright, so first just turn the gas on. Alright, I'll put my top on. A pretty good flow of fuel going right there. We'll see how long it takes. I really cranked up the heat. Temperature's holding around 35 degrees. So in about five minutes or so, we got that water boiling. I'll let it cool off a little bit before we go inside and make tea with it. But yeah, as you can see, pretty handy little stove, very easy to use. I have made myself an alcohol stove, and we'll post a video of that as well if there's any interest. I find myself using the Pocket Rocket or the Micro Rocket more often than not, just because of the ease of use. Now typically if I'm backpacking, I don't use a canister this size. I carry a small one because I don't use a whole lot of fuel anyway, and one of those small ones will last me a long time. This big one I just use for car camping and day hikes occasionally when it's cold.